Hello. Welcome to Sleepy Wilds. My name is Oliver, and tonight I am going to tell you about a giant panda. His name is Kevin. Kevin lives in the Qinling Mountains of Shaanxi Province in China, at an elevation of approximately 2,140 meters above sea level, in a section of bamboo forest that covers approximately 14 square kilometers, none of which Kevin owns, has named, or has any legal claim to. Kevin is 8 years old. He weighs 138 kilograms, which is within the normal range for an adult male giant panda, Ailuropida melanoleuca, though toward the higher end of that range. His fur is black and white. The black portions cover his ears, the areas around his eyes, his shoulders, and his legs. The white portions cover the remaining areas of his body. This is true of all giant pandas, and there is currently no scientific consensus on why giant pandas are black and white, though several theories exist. Kevin has no opinion on any of the theories. Kevin is, at this moment, sitting against a bamboo stalk approximately 43 centimeters in diameter, in a clearing in the forest, eating. He has been eating for approximately 4 hours and 11 minutes. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. The bamboo stalk Kevin is eating from is a species called Bashania forgesii, one of approximately 65 species of bamboo that giant pandas are known to consume, though individual pandas typically specialize in a small number of preferred species depending on their location and the season. At Kevin's elevation and at this time of year, Bashania forgesii comprises approximately 73% of his diet. Kevin eats bamboo by grasping a stalk with his forepaw, stripping the outer layer with his teeth, and consuming the inner portion. He does this, slowly. Each individual bamboo stalk takes Kevin approximately 3 to 4 minutes to process. He processes approximately one stalk every 3.5 minutes on average, though this figure varies depending on the size of the stalk, its moisture content, and factors relating to Kevin's individual preference that cannot currently be determined by external observation. Kevin has been eating for 4 hours and 11 minutes. In that time, he has consumed approximately 8.4 kilograms of bamboo. Giant pandas need to eat between 10 and 40 kilograms of bamboo per day to meet their nutritional requirements, because bamboo is nutritionally poor as a food source for a mammal of Kevin's size and digestive capability, and Kevin's digestive system extracts only approximately 17% of the nutrients available in the bamboo he consumes. Kevin requires a lot of bamboo. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The reason Kevin requires so much bamboo, and the reason bamboo provides so little nutrition relative to Kevin's size and metabolic needs, is that giant pandas evolved from carnivorous ancestors, and retain the digestive system of a carnivore, despite having adopted, at some point in their evolutionary history, a diet that is almost exclusively vegetarian. This is considered by many researchers to be one of the more impractical dietary arrangements in the animal kingdom. Kevin is unaware of this assessment. Kevin is aware of the bamboo stalk he is currently holding, which is approximately 2.3 centimeters in diameter, and of the bamboo stalk approximately 40 centimeters to his left, which he will probably eat next. He is sitting with his back against the larger stalk he has been leaning on for the past 4 hours, his legs extended in front of him at approximately 30 degrees from horizontal, his head slightly bowed, his eyes at approximately 40% of their maximum openness. This is a posture that, if adopted by a human, would suggest someone who was very nearly asleep. Kevin is not asleep. Kevin is eating. These two states are, in Kevin, not entirely distinguishable from the outside. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. At 6:41 in the morning, Kevin finished the stalk he had been eating and paused. The pause lasted 4 minutes and 32 seconds. During the pause, Kevin held the stripped remains of the stalk in his right forepaw, looked at the forest in front of him, and did nothing else. The forest in front of Kevin contained approximately 40 visible bamboo stalks of varying heights and diameters, 3 large broadleaf trees whose species could not be identified from Kevin's current viewing angle, a patch of low-ground cover plants of uncertain species, and, approximately 12 meters away, a rock. Kevin looked at the rock for approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds of his 4-minute 32-second pause. The rock was approximately 40 centimeters tall, 60 centimeters wide, and of a grayish-brown color consistent with the granite geology of the Qinling mountain range. After 1 minute and 40 seconds, Kevin stopped looking at the rock and looked at the patch of ground cover plants instead. He looked at the plants for approximately 2 minutes and 52 seconds, then reached out with his left forepaw and grasped the bamboo stalk approximately 40 centimeters to his left, which he had identified as a likely neck stalk approximately 4 hours ago when he first sat down. He began to eat it. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin's forepaws are one of the more anatomically interesting features of the giant panda. Giant pandas have an enlarged radial sesamoid bone, which functions as a sixth digit, commonly referred to as a false thumb or pseudo-thumb, that allows them to grasp bamboo stalks with considerable precision despite their forepaws being otherwise adapted for walking rather than grasping. The false thumb is not a true thumb. It lacks the range of motion of a true thumb. But it is sufficient for the purposes of grasping bamboo stalks, which is the primary purpose for which Kevin uses his forepaws, along with occasionally resting them on his stomach when he is sitting, which he is doing right now with his left forepaw while his right forepaw holds the current bamboo stalk. Kevin's right forepaw is holding a bamboo stalk that is approximately 1.8 centimeters in diameter, which is slightly narrower than the previous stalk, and which Kevin is stripping at a rate consistent with his previous stripping rates. He has been eating for 4 hours and 24 minutes. He has consumed approximately 8.9 kilograms of bamboo. He will continue eating for approximately another 6 to 8 hours, though the exact duration depends on factors including bamboo availability, Kevin's appetite, and the weather, all of which are currently within normal parameters. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. At 7:03 in the morning, it began to rain. The rain in the Qinling Mountains at this time of year is typically light to moderate, arriving as a fine mist that reduces visibility in the bamboo forest to approximately 30 to 50 meters, and produces a sound against the bamboo leaves that has been described by researchers working in this area as one of the more calming sounds in any field research environment. The rain fell on the bamboo canopy above Kevin, on the leaves of the broadleaf trees around him, and on Kevin himself. Kevin continued eating. The rain did not appear to affect Kevin's eating speed, his posture, or his apparent level of engagement with what he was doing, which was low, and remained low. By 7:15, Kevin had consumed a further 1.1 kilograms of bamboo, bringing his total for the morning to approximately 10 kilograms. He had reached, by the most conservative estimates of a giant panda's daily nutritional requirements, the minimum threshold of intake necessary to sustain basic metabolic function for one day. Kevin was therefore, technically, finished eating for the day, in the sense that he had consumed the minimum necessary amount. Kevin continued eating. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. The rain continued for approximately 1 hour and 14 minutes, depositing approximately 11 millimeters of precipitation at Kevin's elevation. During this time, Kevin ate a further 3.2 kilograms of bamboo, bringing his total to approximately 13.2 kilograms. He then stood up. The standing up process took approximately 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and involved Kevin first shifting his weight forward, then placing both forepaws on the ground, then pushing himself upright using what appeared to be a moderate amount of effort, then standing for approximately 40 seconds in a slightly hunched posture before his spine straightened to its full extent. Kevin's full height when standing is approximately 1.1 meters at the shoulder, and approximately 1.5 meters when measured to the top of his head. He looked at the bamboo forest around him for approximately 30 seconds. Then he began to walk. Kevin's walking speed on flat ground is approximately 40 meters per minute, which is approximately 2.4 kilometers per hour, which is considerably slower than a human walking pace but considerably faster than Carlos, who as you may recall was a sloth. Kevin walked for approximately 4 minutes, covering approximately 160 meters, before stopping. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin stopped at a location approximately 160 meters from where he had been sitting. The new location was, in most meaningful respects, identical to the old one. It was a bamboo forest. There was bamboo. The bamboo was of the same species as the bamboo Kevin had been eating. The ambient conditions were the same. The elevation was similar. The rain, which had stopped approximately 11 minutes ago, had left all surfaces in both locations equally damp. Kevin sat down. The sitting down process took approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds, and involved Kevin first slowing to a stop, then lowering his hindquarters toward the ground, then leaning back against a bamboo stalk of approximately 38 centimeters in diameter, until he was in a position essentially identical to the one he had been in before standing up. He reached out with his right forepaw and grasped a bamboo stalk. He began to eat. He had been at the new location for approximately 3 minutes and 20 seconds before he began eating, which represented the time between his arrival and the commencement of eating, a gap that might, in another animal, suggest deliberation or assessment of the new environment. In Kevin, it most likely represented the time it took to sit down and reach for a stalk. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin ate at the new location for approximately 2 hours and 33 minutes, consuming a further 7.1 kilograms of bamboo and bringing his total for the day to approximately 20.3 kilograms. At 10:47 in the morning, Kevin stopped eating and lay down. The lying down process took approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds. Kevin rolled onto his right side, adjusted his position twice, and then became still, with his forepaws loosely in front of him, his hind paws extended, and his head resting on the ground at an angle that a human might describe as uncomfortable but which appeared to present no difficulty for Kevin. Kevin's eyes closed. He was asleep within approximately 7 minutes. Giant pandas sleep between 10 and 16 hours per day, in multiple shorter sleep periods rather than one continuous overnight sleep, a pattern that is consistent with their need to consume large quantities of low-nutrition food throughout the day and their correspondingly low energy levels between eating periods. Kevin's current sleep period would last approximately 3 hours and 20 minutes. During this time, he would not move significantly, would not dream in any way that has been documented, and would not be disturbed by anything in his immediate environment. The bamboo forest was quiet around him, the mist had returned after the rain, and Kevin was entirely still on the forest floor, with 20.3 kilograms of bamboo in various stages of digestion inside him. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with what Kevin had been doing for the past several hours. Kevin slept. The bamboo forest continued around him, the mist moving slowly through the stalks, the rain-wet leaves occasionally releasing small drops of water that fell with a soft sound onto the forest floor below. A small bird landed on a branch approximately 2 meters above Kevin, looked at him for approximately 15 seconds, and then flew away. Kevin did not stir. A mild breeze moved through the forest at 10:59, causing the bamboo stalks to sway very slightly and produce the soft, dry wood sound that bamboo forests are known for among the small number of people who have spent time in bamboo forests, a sound that is difficult to describe precisely but has been compared by at least one researcher to the sound of very distant, very gentle applause. Kevin did not stir. His breathing was slow, approximately 4 to 5 breaths per minute, his sides rising and falling in a rhythm that was entirely regular and entirely unhurried, consistent with deep sleep in a large mammal that has recently consumed 20.3 kilograms of bamboo and walked 160 meters. The mist settled on his fur in fine droplets, too small to run or fall, simply resting there, making Kevin slightly damp in the particular way that mountain mist makes everything slightly damp. Kevin slept on, in the bamboo forest, in the Qinling Mountains, in Shaanxi Province, in China, on a Tuesday. It was a very ordinary Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. This was also consistent with Kevin's Tuesday. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency, the way mist always does. Kevin remained where he was. Nothing changed. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin's first sleep period of the day lasted 3 hours and 24 minutes. This was within the normal range. At 2:14 in the afternoon, Kevin woke up. The waking process took approximately 8 minutes, during which Kevin's breathing rate increased from approximately 4 breaths per minute to approximately 6 breaths per minute. His right forepaw moved approximately 4 centimeters to the left, and both eyes opened to approximately 50% of their maximum extent. Kevin looked at the bamboo forest. The bamboo forest looked back at Kevin, in the sense that it was there and he was looking at it, not in any more meaningful sense than that. Kevin remained in his lying position for a further 11 minutes after waking, during which time he did not eat, did not stand up, and did not do anything that could be described as preparation for standing up. At 2:25, Kevin rolled onto his front. This took approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds. At 2:27, Kevin stood up. This took approximately 2 minutes and 10 seconds, which was slightly longer than his earlier standing up event, possibly because lying on the forest floor for 3 hours and 24 minutes had introduced some additional inertia into the process, or possibly for no reason that can be identified. Kevin stood in the bamboo forest. He was standing. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin stood for approximately 2 minutes and 50 seconds before beginning to walk. During those 2 minutes and 50 seconds, Kevin looked at the forest around him, shifted his weight slightly from his left forepaws to his right forepaws, and produced a sound that has been described in the literature as a bleat, a low, soft, somewhat sheep-like vocalization that giant pandas produce in a variety of social and environmental contexts, none of which appeared to apply here. There was no other panda within audible range of Kevin's bleat. The bleat lasted approximately 1.4 seconds and was not repeated. At 2:29, Kevin began to walk in a direction that was approximately north-northeast, though Kevin does not navigate by compass, and the designation of this direction as north-northeast is entirely the designation of whoever is observing him rather than anything Kevin has decided. Kevin walked for approximately 6 minutes and 40 seconds, covering approximately 260 meters, before stopping at the base of a large pine tree. The pine tree was approximately 22 meters tall, with a trunk circumference of approximately 1.4 meters at chest height, measured from where a human chest would be if a human were standing next to the pine tree, which no human currently was. Kevin sat down against the pine tree. He had walked 260 meters. This was the furthest Kevin would travel today. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. Kevin sat against the pine tree for approximately 3 minutes before reaching out with his right forepaw and grasping a bamboo stalk that was growing approximately 47 centimeters to his right. The bamboo stalk was Fargesia spathacea, a different species from the Bushania fargesii he had been eating this morning, and one that typically grows at slightly higher elevations or in areas with more shade, such as the base of a large pine tree. Kevin ate the stalk. He then ate another stalk. He then ate another stalk. Giant pandas are known to switch between bamboo species during the course of a single day, a behavior that researchers believe may serve to balance nutrient intake across species with different nutritional profiles, though the difference in nutritional content between the species Kevin was eating this afternoon and the species he had been eating this morning was sufficiently small that this explanation may not fully account for the switch. An alternative explanation is that the Fargesia spathacea was simply closer. Kevin continued eating, his forepaws working in the same steady rhythm they had been working in since 6:30 in the morning, each stalk grasped, stripped, consumed, discarded, next stalk grasped, stripped, consumed, discarded. The process was the same. The bamboo was different. Kevin appeared to find this acceptable. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. Kevin ate at the base of the pine tree for 1 hour and 57 minutes. During this time he consumed approximately 5.8 kilograms of bamboo, bringing his daily total to approximately 26.1 kilograms. This represented approximately 65% of the upper end of the recommended daily intake range for a giant panda of Kevin's size, which meant Kevin had eaten a moderate amount of bamboo today, neither exceptional nor insufficient, simply a normal quantity of bamboo for a Tuesday. At 4:26 in the afternoon, Kevin stopped eating. He did not immediately do anything else. He sat against the pine tree for 17 minutes, holding a partially stripped bamboo stalk in his right forepaw, looking at the forest in front of him, with both eyes at approximately 45% of their maximum extent. The forest in front of Kevin contained bamboo, and a log, and more bamboo. After 17 minutes, Kevin set the partially stripped stalk down on the ground next to him. He then looked at the stalk for approximately 4 minutes. He did not pick it up again. At 4:47, Kevin yawned. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin's yawn lasted approximately 3.2 seconds. Giant panda yawns are notable for the visibility of the teeth, which in an adult male giant panda include canine teeth of considerable length, and for a sound that has been described in various ways, including as a soft groan, a quiet moan, and, in one research paper from 2011, as sounding like someone who is very tired and would rather not have to explain why. Kevin's yawn was not witnessed by any researcher. Kevin's yawn was witnessed by a golden pheasant, which had been standing approximately 3 meters to Kevin's left since approximately 4:31, doing nothing in particular, and which, upon the conclusion of Kevin's yawn, walked 4 steps to the left and resumed doing nothing in particular from that position. Kevin did not acknowledge the golden pheasant. The golden pheasant did not acknowledge Kevin. At 4:51, Kevin stood up. This took 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Kevin then walked approximately 12 meters to a low, flat section of ground that was clear of bamboo stalks and covered in a thick layer of the leaf litter that accumulates on forest floors over time. He examined this area for approximately 30 seconds. Then he lay down on it. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Kevin's second sleep period of the day began at approximately 4:58 in the afternoon. He lay on his back initially, which is an unusual sleeping posture for a giant panda but not unrecorded in the literature, with his forepaws resting loosely on his stomach and his hind paws extended, looking, if one wished to anthropomorphize, like someone who had sat down to watch television and immediately fallen asleep. After approximately 7 minutes, Kevin rolled onto his right side, which is a more typical sleeping posture, and his breathing slowed to the 4 to 5 breaths per minute characteristic of his sleeping state. The leaf litter beneath him compressed slightly under his 138 kilogram weight. The forest around him was in its late afternoon mode, the light coming in at a lower angle through the canopy, the bird activity beginning its gradual late afternoon reduction, the air somewhat cooler than it had been at midday. Kevin was unaware of all of this. Kevin was asleep. The golden pheasant, which had followed Kevin the 12 meters to the flat area and was now standing approximately 4 meters away, regarded him for a further 2 minutes before walking away into the bamboo. Whether the golden pheasant had been following Kevin specifically, or had simply been moving in the same direction for reasons unrelated to Kevin, is not known. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin's second sleep period lasted 2 hours and 41 minutes. He woke at 7:39 in the evening. The waking process this time took approximately 12 minutes, which was 4 minutes longer than his morning waking process, and involved a prolonged intermediate state during which Kevin's eyes were open at approximately 25%, but his body had not yet begun to respond to the information his eyes were providing. This intermediate state lasted approximately 6 of the 12 minutes. During the 6 minutes of this intermediate state, Kevin looked at the leaf litter approximately 40 centimeters in front of his face, at a fixed point, without any obvious change in expression or focus, in a manner that researchers who study large mammals sometimes describe as processing, though what Kevin was processing, if anything, is not available. At 7:51, Kevin stood up. This took 2 minutes and 30 seconds, his longest standing up event of the day. He then walked approximately 22 meters back in the direction he had come from, to a section of bamboo forest that was essentially identical to several other sections of bamboo forest he had been in today, grasped a bamboo stalk with his right forepaw, and began to eat. This was Kevin's third eating session of the day. It was also the evening. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin ate through the evening. The forest grew darker around him as he ate, the light reducing from the golden green of late afternoon to the gray-green of dusk to the near darkness of the bamboo forest at night, through which Kevin could see adequately, as giant pandas have good night vision relative to humans, though this is not a particularly high bar. He ate at approximately the same rate he had been eating all day, each stalk taking 3 to 4 minutes, his forepaws moving in the same rhythm they had maintained since this morning, his eyes at approximately 40 to 50%. By 9:03 in the evening, Kevin had consumed a further 6.4 kilograms of bamboo in this third eating session, bringing his daily total to approximately 32.5 kilograms. This was within the normal range. Kevin continued eating. He ate another stalk. He ate another stalk. He ate another stalk, and then paused for 4 minutes, and then ate another stalk. The forest was very quiet now. Most of the daytime birds had stopped calling. The nighttime insects had taken over, producing a steady background of sound that was lower in frequency than the daytime sounds and, many people find, more conducive to sleep. Kevin ate another stalk. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. At 10:22 in the evening, Kevin stopped eating. He had consumed, in total, over the course of his Tuesday, approximately 35.3 kilograms of bamboo. This was a slightly above average intake for Kevin, representing approximately 88% of the upper end of the recommended daily intake range, and the reasons for the slightly elevated intake are not available, as Kevin has not explained them to anyone and would not be able to do so even if asked. Kevin sat in the bamboo forest for 11 minutes after stopping eating. He then stood up. He then walked approximately 31 meters in a direction that was approximately south-southwest, which brought him to an area of the forest that, if you were to compare it to his starting location this morning, was approximately 47 meters to the north-northwest of it, meaning that Kevin had, over the course of the entire day, made a net displacement of approximately 47 meters from where he had begun. 47 meters. This is approximately half the length of an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Kevin had traveled, in total, approximately 780 meters over the course of the day, but his net displacement was 47 meters. Kevin sat down. He grasped a bamboo stalk. He began to eat. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. Both were satisfactory. The forest continued its business. Kevin was not contributing to it in any meaningful way. This was fine. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior. Kevin's fourth eating session of the day began at 10:33 in the evening and lasted approximately 41 minutes, during which time he consumed a further 2.1 kilograms of bamboo, bringing his revised daily total to approximately 37.4 kilograms. He then stopped eating, set down the partially consumed stalk he had been holding, and remained sitting against the bamboo stalk he had been leaning on for the past hour and 14 minutes. His eyes closed slowly, over the course of approximately 90 seconds, the way they always closed, without drama, without announcement, simply becoming less open until they were not open at all. Kevin was asleep. This was his third sleep period of the day. It would last approximately 4 hours and 11 minutes, which would bring him to approximately 3:23 in the morning, at which point he would wake, eat, sleep again, and continue in this arrangement until the following Tuesday, at which point it would be a different Tuesday, but the shape of Kevin's day would be essentially the same. The bamboo forest was quiet. The mist had returned, moving through the stalks in slow, unhurried drifts, the way mist moves when there is no wind to give it direction. Kevin breathed slowly, for breaths per minute, his sides rising and falling in the bamboo forest in the Qinling Mountains in Shaanxi Province in China. It was still Tuesday. It had been a very ordinary Tuesday. And Kevin, who had eaten 37.4 kilograms of bamboo and traveled a net distance of 47 meters and had absolutely no opinion about any of it, was entirely, completely, perfectly asleep. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly. Kevin's third sleep period lasted 4 hours and 9 minutes. Not 4 hours and 11 minutes, as had been projected. 4 hours and 9 minutes. This discrepancy of 2 minutes has no known explanation. Kevin woke at 3:32 in the morning. The waking process took approximately 14 minutes, which was his longest waking process of the day, and during which his left forepaw moved twice, once at the 3-minute mark and once at the 11-minute mark, by approximately 2 centimeters each time, in the same direction, which was downward. Both movements appeared to be involuntary. At 3:46 in the morning, Kevin was technically awake, in the sense that both eyes were open at approximately 40% and his breathing rate had increased to 6 breaths per minute. He remained in his sleeping position for a further 9 minutes. The bamboo forest at 3:46 in the morning was dark, and quiet, and smelled of damp soil and mist and bamboo, which is to say it smelled exactly as it had smelled at every other point during Kevin's Tuesday, as these are the primary components of the smell of a Chinling mountain bamboo forest at any hour. Kevin sat up. This took 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. At 3:55 in the morning, Kevin began his fourth eating session of the day. He grasped a bamboo stalk with his right forepaw, stripped it, ate it, and reached for another. The bamboo in this area was Bashania forgesiae, the same species he had been eating this morning, which meant that over the course of the day Kevin had consumed 2 species of bamboo. Bashania forgesiae and Forgesia spathacea, in a ratio of approximately 78 to 22% by weight. Whether this ratio was intentional, or the result of opportunity, or simply what happened when a giant panda moves 47 meters over the course of an entire day and eats whatever bamboo is within reach of where he happens to be sitting, is not known. Kevin ate. He ate slowly, in the dark, in the bamboo forest, with no company and no apparent awareness that he had no company. Giant pandas are largely solitary animals. Adult males maintain home ranges that may overlap with those of females but rarely overlap significantly with those of other adult males. Kevin's home range is estimated at approximately 11 square kilometers, based on movement data from pandas in similar habitat, though Kevin has never been tracked and this is an estimate. Kevin has never met another giant panda named Kevin. He ate another stalk. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans. By 5:04 in the morning, Kevin had consumed a further 4.2 kilograms of bamboo in his fourth eating session, bringing his Tuesday total to approximately 41.6 kilograms. This was above the upper end of the typically cited daily intake range of 10 to 40 kilograms, which means that either Kevin had an unusually hungry Tuesday, or the typically cited range is an underestimate, or Kevin is simply a panda who eats more than the average panda. All three explanations are plausible. None can be confirmed. At 5:04, Kevin stopped eating. He looked at the bamboo stalk he had just finished for approximately 40 seconds. Then he looked at the bamboo stalk next to it for approximately 20 seconds. Then he looked at the section of forest floor between the two stalks for approximately 30 seconds. Then he grasped the second stalk, brought it toward his face, and stopped. He held the stalk in front of his face for approximately 2 minutes. Then he ate it. This brought his Tuesday total to approximately 41.9 kilograms. Kevin set the stripped remains of the stalk on the forest floor next to the stripped remains of the previous stalk. He looked at both of them for approximately 1 minute. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. At 5:27 in the morning, Kevin stood up. This took 2 minutes and 15 seconds. He then walked in a direction that was approximately west-southwest, covering approximately 83 meters over approximately 3 minutes and 30 seconds, before stopping at the base of a large fir tree. The fir tree was approximately 19 meters tall, with a trunk circumference of approximately 1.1 meters, and a section of bark on the south-facing side that was slightly smoother than the bark on the other sides, consistent with repeated contact by a large animal, which may have been Kevin on previous occasions, or may have been a different animal entirely. Kevin walked to the smooth section of bark and pressed his back against it. He then slid very slowly downward until he was sitting at the base of the tree, with his back against the smooth bark, his legs extended in front of him, and his forepaws resting on his stomach. This was the posture in which Kevin had begun his Tuesday. It was now Wednesday. Kevin appeared to find this acceptable. He reached out with his right forepaw and grasped a bamboo stalk that was growing approximately 31 centimeters to his right. He began to eat. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. Kevin ate at the base of the fir tree as the forest moved from the deep dark of 3 in the morning toward the pre-dawn gray that precedes sunrise by approximately 1 hour. The change in light was not dramatic, filtered as it was through the multiple layers of the forest canopy above him, arriving at Kevin's level as a very gradual brightening from near darkness to something that could generously be described as dim. Kevin's eating rate did not change with the light. He ate a stalk every 3 to 4 minutes, as he had been doing since 6:30 the previous morning, which was now approximately 23 hours ago. Kevin had been eating bamboo, in one form or another, for the majority of the past 23 hours. At 6:12 in the morning, a Japanese marten, a small carnivorous mammal of approximately 1 kilogram, passed through the forest floor approximately 6 meters from Kevin. Kevin looked at it. The marten looked at Kevin. The marten then moved on at a pace that was considerably faster than Kevin's pace, disappearing into the bamboo within approximately 4 seconds of Kevin having noticed it. Kevin returned his attention to the bamboo stalk he had been eating. The marten did not return. Kevin continued eating. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. At 6:41 in the morning, Kevin ate the last bamboo stalk of his Tuesday. This was technically Wednesday morning, but it was the last stalk of the eating session that had begun on Tuesday evening, so it can reasonably be attributed to Tuesday, which is what this story is about, as Kevin does not observe the calendar transition from Tuesday to Wednesday in any way that could be described as observing it. The stalk was a Bashania fargesii stalk, approximately 1.6 centimeters in diameter, which Kevin ate in approximately 2 minutes and 50 seconds. He then set the stripped remains on the ground. He had now consumed, in total, over the course of his Tuesday and the brief extension of Tuesday into Wednesday morning, approximately 43.7 kilograms of bamboo. This represented, at Kevin's estimated body weight of 138 kilograms, approximately 32% of his own body weight in bamboo, consumed in a single day. Kevin looked at the stripped stalk on the ground for approximately 45 seconds. He then looked at the forest. The forest was beginning, very slowly, to lighten. Kevin looked at the lightening forest for approximately 3 minutes. Then he lay down. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. Kevin's fourth sleep period of the day began at 6:49 in the morning. He lay on his left side this time, which was the side he had not slept on during his second sleep period, creating a rough symmetry across the day that was almost certainly coincidental rather than deliberate. The forest floor beneath him was slightly damp from the overnight mist, which had been present since approximately 1 in the morning and had deposited a thin layer of moisture on all horizontal surfaces within Kevin's section of the forest, including the forest floor, the leaves of the low ground cover plants, and the backs of Kevin's forepaws, where small beads of moisture had collected during the night. Kevin settled into the damp forest floor without apparent objection. His eyes closed over the course of approximately 2 minutes. His breathing slowed to 4 breaths per minute. The forest around him continued its overnight quiet, the nighttime insects at lower volume now than they had been at midnight, the first tentative pre-dawn bird calls beginning in the upper canopy approximately 18 meters above Kevin's resting position. Kevin was asleep before the first bird called. He did not hear the first bird call. He did not hear the second bird call either. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. Kevin slept as the forest transitioned from night to morning. The pre-dawn gray became the dim green of early forest morning. The mist began to thin as the temperature rose very slightly with the approaching sun. The bird calls increased in number and volume as species after species added its voice to the growing morning chorus. A red panda, an animal that shares Kevin's habitat but is not closely related to Kevin despite the name, moved through the lower branches of a tree approximately 9 meters from where Kevin was sleeping. The red panda weighed approximately 6 kilograms, which is approximately 4.5% of Kevin's weight. The red panda looked at Kevin. Kevin did not look at the red panda, because Kevin was asleep. The red panda moved on. At 8:17 in the morning, a light rain began to fall. It fell on the canopy above Kevin, dripped through the layers of the forest, and arrived at Kevin's level as a fine mist of secondary droplets that settled on his fur in the same way the overnight mist had settled on his fur, making Kevin slightly damper than he had been before the rain without making him wet in any meaningful sense. Kevin did not stir. Kevin's sleep was not affected by rain. This had been established earlier in his Tuesday and remained true now. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. Kevin's fourth sleep period lasted until 10:03 in the morning. He had slept for 3 hours and 14 minutes. His total sleep for the day, across 4 sleep periods, was approximately 13 hours and 48 minutes, which was within the normal range of 10 to 16 hours for a giant panda, toward the higher end of that range, consistent with the higher-than-average food intake, as digesting 43.7 kilograms of bamboo requires a significant energy investment from Kevin's digestive system, even operating at only 17% efficiency. Kevin woke at 10:03. The waking process took 10 minutes. At 10:13, both of Kevin's eyes were open at approximately 50%. He looked at the forest. The forest was in its mid-morning mode, bright, active, the bird calls at their most numerous, the mist fully cleared, the bamboo stalks catching the light that came through the canopy and producing the particular green-gold color that bamboo forests are known for in the morning light. Kevin looked at this for approximately 5 minutes. Then he reached out with his right forepaw, grasped a bamboo stalk, and began to eat. It was Wednesday morning. Tuesday was over. Kevin remained where he was. The bamboo forest continued to be a bamboo forest. Both were unchanged. Kevin did not move. This was consistent with known giant panda behavior, and also with Tuesday. Nothing of any particular significance occurred. The mist continued to move through the forest, slowly, without urgency. The bamboo stalks continued to be bamboo stalks. Kevin continued to be Kevin. This was sufficient. The forest continued its business around Kevin, who was not contributing to it in any meaningful way, and had no plans to. Kevin reached out with his right forepaw, grasped a bamboo stalk, and began to eat. It was Wednesday morning. Tuesday was over. Kevin was unaware that Tuesday was over, in the sense that Kevin does not track days of the week, does not maintain a calendar, and has no concept of Tuesday as a unit of time distinct from Monday or Wednesday or any other day. For Kevin, it was simply morning. And in the morning, Kevin ate bamboo. He ate the stalk he had grasped. He then ate another. He then ate another. The forest around him was bright with the mid-morning light, the bird calls at their most numerous, the mist fully cleared, the bamboo stalks catching the light that filtered through the canopy above and producing the particular green-gold color that bamboo forests produce in the morning when the sun is at the right angle. Kevin ate through all of this at his usual pace. Each stalk, 3 to 4 minutes. Each stalk, exactly like the previous one. Kevin had been eating bamboo, on and off, for approximately 26 hours. He continued. By 11:42 on Wednesday morning, Kevin had consumed a further 3.1 kilograms of bamboo in his 5th eating session, bringing his total across Tuesday and the first hours of Wednesday to approximately 46.8 kilograms. He had now been in this general section of the Chinling Mountain Bamboo Forest for approximately 29 hours. He had moved a net distance of, still approximately 47 meters from where he began. At 11:42, Kevin stopped eating. He placed both forepaws on his stomach. He looked at the forest. The forest contained bamboo. Kevin had already established this. At 11:51, Kevin stood up, walked approximately 14 meters to the north, and sat down against a bamboo stalk that was, in all measurable respects, identical to the bamboo stalk he had been sitting against before. He then looked at the forest from this new position for approximately 6 minutes. The forest from this new position contained bamboo. Kevin appeared to accept this information without surprise. He reached out and grasped a bamboo stalk. Kevin's Wednesday eating continued through the early afternoon. He ate. He paused. He ate. He paused. He ate. The forest around him went through its midday quieting, the temperature at Kevin's elevation reaching a maximum of approximately 14 degrees Celsius at around 1 in the afternoon, which is cool by most standards but within the range that giant pandas are adapted to, as they are a mountain species and their thick fur provides insulation appropriate for the conditions. Kevin's fur was functioning correctly. Kevin ate another stalk. At 1:17 in the afternoon, Kevin paused for 34 minutes. This was his longest pause of Wednesday so far, and the third longest pause across his entire Tuesday and Wednesday. During the pause, a light wind moved through the bamboo forest, causing the stalks to sway slightly and produce the soft sound that bamboo makes in a light wind, which has been described variously as a whisper, a sigh, and, in one context, as the sound of the forest thinking about something. The forest was probably not thinking about anything. Kevin was probably not thinking about anything either. The wind passed. The bamboo stilled. Kevin resumed eating. At 2:44 in the afternoon, Kevin stopped eating and lay down for his fifth sleep period of the day. He had consumed approximately 5.3 kilograms of bamboo during Wednesday morning's eating sessions, bringing his combined Tuesday through Wednesday total to approximately 52.1 kilograms across 2 days. This is included for completeness. Kevin lay on his right side, in a clearing approximately 8 meters from the bamboo stalk he had been eating against, on a section of forest floor that was marginally softer than the surrounding forest floor due to a thicker accumulation of leaf litter. Whether Kevin had selected this spot because of its superior comfort, or had simply stopped walking when he reached it, is not determinable. His eyes closed. His breathing slowed. The forest continued around him, a troop of golden snub-nosed monkeys passing through the upper canopy approximately 23 meters above Kevin, producing considerable noise, before moving on. Kevin did not wake. Kevin did not stir. Kevin slept through the golden snub-nosed monkeys, as he had slept through the toucan, and the howler monkeys in Carlos's story, though Kevin was not in Carlos's story and is unaware of Carlos. Kevin's fifth sleep period lasted 2 hours and 51 minutes. He woke at 5:35 in the afternoon. The waking process took 11 minutes. At 5:46, Kevin was technically awake, both eyes at approximately 45%, breathing at approximately 6 breaths per minute. He remained lying down for a further 8 minutes. Then he sat up. Then he looked at the forest. The forest was in its late afternoon mode, the light golden and low, the shadows long and soft, the bird activity beginning its gradual evening reduction. It was a very ordinary late afternoon in the Qinling Mountains. Kevin stood up at 5:57, walked approximately 9 meters in a direction that was approximately east, and sat down. He reached out with his right forepaw. He grasped a bamboo stalk. He began to eat. The stalk was Bashania fargesii, the same species he had been eating since he woke up this morning. It tasted, as far as can be determined, like Bashania fargesii. Kevin ate it. The evening passed. Kevin ate through the evening, as he had eaten through the previous evening, at the same rate, in the same posture, with the same expression, which is to say no expression in particular, his eyes at 40 to 50%, his forepaws moving in their established rhythm. He ate a stalk every 3 to 4 minutes. He paused occasionally, for periods ranging from 3 minutes to 22 minutes. He ate another stalk. The forest moved through its evening transition, dusk settling in over the canopy above, the last of the day's light fading to the gray-green of the forest at night, the nighttime insects beginning their build-up. At 7:53 in the evening, Kevin ate the 22nd stalk of his Wednesday. At 8:09, he ate the 23rd. At 8:24, he ate the 24th. Between 8:24 and 8:51, he paused for 27 minutes. He then ate his 25th stalk. None of the 25 stalks were significantly different from each other. Kevin had no preference among them. By 9:41 in the evening, Kevin had eaten approximately 7.8 kilograms of bamboo since waking from his 5th sleep period, bringing his total for Tuesday and Wednesday combined to approximately 59.9 kilograms across 2 days. Kevin was not aware of this figure. Kevin was aware of the bamboo stalk he was currently holding, and possibly of the bamboo stalk approximately 30 centimeters to his left, and possibly of the bamboo stalk approximately 40 centimeters in front of him. These were the bamboo stalks most immediately relevant to Kevin's situation. He ate the one he was holding. He then reached for the one approximately 30 centimeters to his left. He ate that one. He then paused for 9 minutes. He then reached for the one approximately 40 centimeters in front of him. He ate that one. The forest was dark and quiet now, the only sounds the steady background of nighttime insects, and the soft sound of Kevin eating bamboo, which is not a loud sound, bamboo being relatively soft when stripped, and Kevin not being a loud eater. Kevin ate quietly, in the dark, in the forest, without comment. At 10:22 in the evening, Kevin stopped eating. He set down the stripped remains of the stalk he had just finished. He looked at the forest for approximately 6 minutes. Then he yawned. This was his second yawn of the day, his first having occurred at 4:47 the previous afternoon. The yawn lasted approximately 2.8 seconds, which was 0.4 seconds shorter than his first yawn. No golden pheasant was present this time. The yawn was unwitnessed by any creature that was likely to have found it noteworthy. Kevin closed his mouth. He then sat in the bamboo forest for 14 minutes without doing anything further. At 10:42 in the evening, Kevin lay down. He arranged himself on the forest floor in a posture that was a combination of his right-side sleeping posture from earlier and a slight forward lean that he had not used before, resulting in a position that was unique to this particular sleep period. His eyes closed. He was asleep within 4 minutes. Kevin slept. The bamboo forest at night was quiet around him, the mist beginning its return to the lower sections of the forest, the stars above the canopy invisible from Kevin's position but present, turning slowly through the night sky above the mountain. Kevin's breathing was 4 breaths per minute. His forepaws were loosely in front of him. His hind paws were extended. He was on the forest floor in the Qinling Mountains, in the dark, in the mist, in the quiet, exactly as he had been last night at this hour, and the night before that, and the night before that, for as long as Kevin had been alive, which was 8 years. 8 years of nights in the bamboo forest. Each one essentially the same. Each one sufficient. If you are still listening right now, your own night has been going on for some time. You have followed Kevin through a Tuesday and into a Wednesday. You have been very patient. Your own breathing is probably slower now than it was when we began. That is appropriate. That is what this is for. The night continued. Kevin slept through it, as he always did, one half of his brain maintaining the minimal functions necessary to keep him alive and breathing while the other half rested, then switching, the 2 halves taking turns at the work of being a sleeping panda in a dark forest. The mist thickened around him, settling on his fur in the same fine droplets it had settled on his fur the previous night, making him slightly damp, which Kevin had no objection to, having been slightly damp for most of his life. At some point during the night, a large moth with a wingspan of approximately 16 centimeters landed briefly on Kevin's left ear. Kevin's ear did not move. The moth remained for approximately 11 seconds, then departed. Kevin's ear still did not move. Somewhere above the canopy, the stars continued their slow turning. Orion visible in the winter sky above the Qinling Mountains, the same Orion that had been above Carlos as he descended his tree, though Kevin and Carlos are in different countries and have never met, and neither of them is currently looking at Orion, because both of them are asleep. It is a quiet night. For everyone. If you are still here, then you have followed Kevin across his entire Tuesday, and into his Wednesday, and through the long, quiet hours of his Wednesday night. You have been with him through 43.7 kilograms of bamboo, through 4 sleep periods, through 2 yawns, through the golden pheasant and the Japanese martin and the red panda and the large moth that landed on his ear and stayed for 11 seconds. You have been with him through 47 meters of net travel, and 583 meters of walking that ended up 47 meters from where it began. Kevin has no memory of your presence. Kevin does not know you were here. Kevin is asleep. And perhaps, by now, so are you. If you are not yet asleep, that is also fine. You are further toward sleep than you were when Kevin began his Tuesday. You are warmer. You are quieter. The thoughts that seemed important an hour ago are further away now, smaller, less insistent. Let them continue to recede. Let Kevin continue to sleep in his bamboo forest, his breathing slow, his fur slightly damp, his forepaws loose in front of him. And let yourself follow him down into that same slow, dark, unhurried rest. Good night from Sleepy Wilds. Kevin says nothing. Kevin is asleep.